Hello, my kinder and first leaders. Welcome to November, week number 4. This week, we're talking about Esther and the story of how God was with her and that she had a lot of courage when she had to face the king. And so even though she was kind of in the king's favor, she didn't know what was going to happen if she told the king that she was a Jew. And so it was cool to see how God protected her from that and how God blessed her through that by telling the truth and admitting it to the king, even though she could have been killed technically. And so this week is going to be a lot of fun as we talk about courage and wrap up our don't face our fears alone, right? And so God is with us in our fears. God is with us no matter what. So that's what we're going to be pushing with the students today. And so this week, go ahead and start off with handing out just pieces of paper to students, and they're going to act like they are a new king or queen of a new land, okay? And so with this, you can have them be creative, come up with some new rules, maybe draw some pictures of what it would look like as them king or queen, and have them have a little bit of fun with that, okay? And then this next one, you're going to basically have them creatively create a story together as a group. And so go ahead and if you have a lot of kids, break up into smaller groups, and then you can do this as a smaller group together. But what you're doing is basically making a little bit of story where you start it with a simple prompt. There's an example prompt on your sheet. So something like Manny and his friend Sam went to the park. They were playing on the monkey bars when suddenly... And then like the next person can go ahead and fill in something new in the story, right? And kind of bounce from student to student as you do that, creatively thinking of different ways of what happened next in the story, right? So kind of getting them to think a little bit on a cliffhanger as we go into the story with the cliffhanger that is Esther, okay? Then you'll go to large group and learn about that Esther story. And then when you come back, you have a lot of different objects that you're going to use. So you have things like a crown, a beard, a black hat, a scroll, all that kind of stuff. And what you're doing is you're trying to get your students to remember what happened in the story when you pick up that object, okay? And so starting with like the crown, right? Like King Xerxes needed a new queen, so he searched and searched for the whole year and finally chose Esther as his queen. And so that would be like, as soon as he comes into the kingship, all of this stuff happens, right? And so kind of break down the story. It's in order for you in your sheet as well, so that you can keep track of where you are in the story. And then this next one, you'll have a lot of different cardstock pieces of papers, and you'll go ahead and split up your little group into 2 different teams. And what you're doing is you're laying out this cardstock in like one big row between the 2 teams, okay? And then you'll have a little dice as well, a die. And when they roll that die, then they'll be able to move a position trying to get to the other side, okay? But here's the thing. When they land on one of the pieces of paper, the piece of paper will say this or that. And you'll pick from two different little like stacks of paper, if you will. And these are the little stacks of paper. So one of them is going to be this paper, one of them is going to be that paper. And basically you don't know what's underneath, and so it's going to be kind of a little bit of a cliffhanger on what's next, right? What's going to happen. And when they pick it up for this one, it says some silly things, and then it'll tell you to like move back or forward a space or stay where you are or something. But this one's like, you overslept this morning, go back 2 spaces, right? So if they rolled a 6, then they would move 6 spaces, pick up this card when they landed on this, and then it would say go back 2 spaces, so they would actually go back 2 spaces from that point. And so it'll be a fun interactive game to see how far they can get and who can get the furthest within the 2 teams, okay? So work together as a team. That'll be a really fun one as you do it together. But all of that, again, going back to it's a cliffhanger. We don't know what's going to happen next, just like Esther didn't know what was going to happen next, right? So she knew that she should tell the truth and do the right thing, and that's the big point that we're going on today. So you can do what you should even when you don't know what will happen is our bottom line. Then this next one, you'll have a memory verse words activity page, and basically what you're doing is you have a few different words from the memory verse that you'll lay out in order on the floor. And you can tape them to the floor if you want to, or you can just lay them out and have them jump next to them. That's fine too. I don't recommend them jumping on the paper if it's not taped, because then they just might slip on the paper. And so, but anyway, they are going to one by one go through and say the whole verse as they jump from one of the words to the next, right? And so like be strong, and then they jump, and courageous is the next word, so they jump on courageous, and go through the verse that whole way down. It'll be a fun, just hopscotch way for them to basically learn that verse. And then your closing activity, just go ahead and wrap up with a prayer. And what you do with this prayer is talk about ways that they can have courage or things that they may even practically need courage for right now. So you can ask for those things and see if, hey, is there anything that you need courage for right now, or anything that you really wish that God was with you right now, and then pray over those things, and then thank God that he is with us no matter what. And that's it for this week, guys. Don't forget that on December 11th, that's your free taco day. And so come as we give you some Christmas gifts and give you some free tacos that we'll have available for you guys. Just a way to bless you guys and say thank you and Merry Christmas for all that you guys do. Awesome. See you guys soon.